Dear learners, welcome back to NPTEL online certification course on novel drug delivery system. I am Dr. Satish Dyavanapalli, Assistant Professor at Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Technology, Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. In our novel drug delivery systems, we are dealing with the various types of the advanced drug delivery systems. In our previous lecture, we started with the mucosal and nasopulmonary drug delivery systems. In that, we have discussed last 3 lectures on mucoadhesive drug delivery systems. In that, we have seen what are the important parameters involved in the mucoadhesion, and not only that, we have seen the various advantages, limitations of the mucoadhesive drug delivery systems. In our recent lecture, we have seen the mucoadhesive polymers and their mechanism involved in the mucoadhesion. So, here in last lecture we have discussed mucoadhesive polymers, and then we have discussed various classifications, and after that we have seen the what are the mechanisms which are involved in the mucoadhesion. Then we have discussed 5 theories which are explained by the researchers to understand the mechanism of mucoadhesion. And after that we have discussed what are the types of mucoadhesive formulations are available, and then we have discussed various routes of administration for the mucoadhesive drug delivery systems. So, today we are going to discuss among other routes of oral mucosal delivery systems. Today we are going to focus on one type of the mucosal delivery systems, that is by oral route. And apart from this, we can target various mucosal surfaces like buccal targeting, and also we can also target ocular, nasal, and also we can target rectal and vaginal delivery systems. So, today we are going to specifically discuss on the oral mucosal drug delivery systems. So, these are the my flow of presentation. So, we will see introduction to oral mucosal delivery system, then we will see the current market status of the oral mucosal drug delivery systems, and then we will see the functions of oral mucous membrane, and then we will see advantages, limitations, and further we will focus on the various approaches involved in the mucosal drug delivery systems. And this will discuss as in further understanding for the mucosal drug delivery system, that is buccal drug delivery systems. So, as we know that we are discussing on the various mucosal approaches, and for the oral we know that among all other routes of administration, oral route is always preferable, and when you give in the oral format, so the easy application is possible, and not only that, the patient compliance also can be improved. So, in oral mucosa, here we will see how this will help for the patient improvement. As you can read here, among various developments in the oral drug delivery systems, oral mucosal systems are generating tremendous interest and excitement. So, many companies are translating or converting their product from the conventional oral formulations, tablets, capsules and other types of the oral formulations into the oral mucosal systems. For example, converting of that into the buccal films and sublingual films and also other types of the oral mucosal dosage forms. And yes, because the great advantage is that we can enhance the bioavailability compared with the conventional formulations. And also it states that when you compare with the other routes like parenterals, and we can expect here it is a non-invasive and also it is a patient friendly and which is a cost effective, which are alternative to the parenterals, whereas parenterals we need a practitioner for the injection and also it is a painful process and it involve cost because of to maintain the sterility. The transmucosal routes enables direct systemic delivery of the drugs through the mucosa, and when you apply any part of this mucus, that will be assisted by the high blood flow and relatively high permeability of the oral mucosa. With this, we can improve the bioavailability and also we can reduce all type of the limitations which we face through oral route or we can say conventional oral routes. So, which explains that which has high blood flow and relatively high permeability. With that we can expect the maximum bioavailability within a short time. And here you can also read the oral mucosa drug delivery has drawn more and more attention because of their potential advantages over the other routes of delivery systems. Here you can see the two examples, one is sublingual route, another one is the buccal route. So, we will place the formulations in the oral mucosa. Now, this is the current market status. You can see the value of the formulations of oral mucosa. You can see, so which is expected in the market value, the expected market value in 2031 is 27 billions. So, with that we will understand there is a huge development is going after the COVID-19. So, here you can see the market by the various regions. You can see in the North America and also in the Europe and Asia and Pacific and the Latin America and the Middle East and Africa. So, there is an utilization of the oral mucosal formulations from various industries like pharmaceutical as well as nutraceutical industries. So, here, so most of the pharmaceutical and nutraceutical industries are boosting their production capabilities in oral mucosal formulation under OTF, oral thin films, ODT, oral disintegrating tablets and also in the semi-solids and other powder forms which will help as an oral mucosal delivery systems. Now, here you can see the route of penetration, there are the various routes which are involved and also here there are the various novel formulations also people are working for the oral mucosal delivery systems. Now, here the slide will explain the location and thickness of the mucous membrane at various parts of the oral mucosa. Now, here is the membrane and the location, thickness and also which is compared the blood flow with rhesus monkey, and you can see in the oral mucosa we have membranes. One is the buccal membrane and second is sublingual, gingival and the palatal, also which are already highlighted in the diagram also. you can see this is gingiva gums and these are the palates, and you can see here is the we can apply the buccal patches, and here we apply sublingual patches or sublingual tablets. So, these are the various locations. Now, you can see the thickness is also very important while developing the formulations, and the maximum is in case of buccal. So, there we can provide the sustained type of formulations also. Now, see you can also see here the blood flow, which is very important for the onset of action. The sublingual and the palatal has a very less time for the blood flow. So, based on that we can target the formulations. Now, here we will see the advantage, already we have discussed with the example of nitroglycerin. The onset of action is quick and which will rapidly enter into the blood through the mucosa, that is called as bioavailability to the systemic circulation. This is one of the major challenge. The most of the drugs will enter into the liver, undergo the metabolism before reaching into the blood, which is called as first pass metabolism, which can overcome by the mucosal route, so that the drug after the disintegration it will reaches to the blood rather than going into the liver. That is also possible. And here large surface area also possible. With that we can focus on different sites like sublingual, we can also focus on the buccal also. And great advantage when compared with the oral tablets and other parenterals, you cannot terminate. But here once your treatment is done and you are recovered from your need, and you can terminate the usage of the your formulation. For example, if you are using buccal tablet for 5 to 6 hours for some pain, and in that case once after 2 hours if you are relieved from the pain, you can remove the buccal patches or buccal tablets from the site of the administration. So, easy to terminate as similar to the transdermal patches. So, which will also enable the sustained drug delivery via buccal tissues. This is only preferable and will work for the buccal dosage forms. It will improve the bioavailability, and with this we can also improve the patient compliance. Yes, there are the limitations and drawbacks also for the oral mucosal delivery systems. Less efficacy if swallowed. If patient is not familiar with the administration of the buccal tablets or any other mucosal tablet, if they swallow, then it will show very low efficacy and your drug may degrade in the gastric conditions. Suitable for small doses, yes. So, the dose of the oral mucosal formulation is very less. In case of films, oral films, and we will go less than 25 to 30 mg. So, the dose is very less and limited absorption site area, because the oral the absorption area is very less, and the poor taste irritation affects the patient compliance. There are the drugs which are in the bitter in the taste. So, such drugs is not possible. So, in such cases we will prefer always the oral tablets or the capsules to mask the taste by using various coating systems, so which can overcome the taste also. Risk of premature detachment, for example, when you are putting a buccal patch and there are the chances it may come out while drinking the water and by eating something. So, premature detachment also possible. Dislodged by the eating and drinking. So, same thing, this may be relocate or it may be come out from the site of administration during the eating and drinking. And mucosal irritation, here we use various types of the polymers and also we use plasticizers, and sometime we use the aqueous vehicles and surfactants, that may also leads to the toxicity. So, this here we see the various formulation approaches in the oral mucosal drug delivery. So far we are discussing various types of formulations. Here in the mucoadhesive delivery systems, we can use various types of the formulations which can be placed in the oral mucosal routes. So, here few example we will see in detail and we will understand the what are the features and what materials we use and what are the advantages. Now, here we can see the dosage forms and here are the features, materials used and the advantages. Now, here we know the tablets which we can use as a buccal tablet, we can also use ODT tablets, right. So, which we can be compressed and bilayered, and here these are the various polymers we use for the tablets, carbopol which have a mucoadhesive nature, HPMC and carboxymethyl cellulose. Because of they have strong adhesion, we can also expect the prolonged time at the site of application. We can also use lozenges as a oral mucosal delivery. They will dissolve slowly in the mouth and yes, which are compatible with the polymers and we will get in a local delivery and patient friendly also, and we can also swallow very easily. And these are the polymeric micelles, and here generally we use for the water insoluble drugs, we can convert into the nano size and your surface area will increase, and that will we can use it as a oral mucosal formulations. So, here we can also use various pH sensitive and controlless polymers also, and micro and nanoparticles, the permeation and the contact time with the mucosa will be very high. So, this will come in the micro nano range and these are the polymers we can use it. Now, you can see all the picture representations, tablets, lozenges and the polymeric micelles and the other polymeric nanoparticles. So, here we can see we can use wafers also and we can use powders, patches, films, gels and hydrogels, and also sometimes we can also use liquid solutions in terms of like sprays. So, this liquid formulation also can be used and we can spray on the oral mucosa. In a market we can see the vitamin C oral sprays are available which can also improve the mucosal adhesion. So, these are the various key features of the dosage forms and these are the various polymers and these are the various advantages. So, now we are going to see one another topic in the oral mucosal delivery system, that is a buccal delivery system. So far we have discussed on the oral mucosal delivery systems. In that we are discussing on one topic, that is a buccal drug delivery systems. We have a sublingual and we have the other types of the formulations and routes of administration. As per the syllabus, we are going to discuss on the buccal drug delivery systems. So, buccal region is an attractive site for target specific delivery of the actives on the mucosa for local and the systemic effect by absorbing through mucosal membrane. So, with this we can target the various types of the diseases and for the treatment for local into the mouth, or if you are suffering with some infection or some dental or toothache or some any type of pain, such cases we can use a buccal delivery systems. And also for systemic effect we can also use buccal delivery to avoid the conventional oral formulation. With that we can expect both local and systemic effect. In comparison to oral drug delivery, the mucosal lining of the buccal region has a few unique advantages which contains high vascularization and displays decreased enzyme activity and less sensitivity and bypassing hepatic first pass metabolism. These details already we have seen in the general discussion of oral mucosal systems, but this is a comparison for the oral drug delivery, which are conventional oral delivery. There we will see lot of bioavailability issues, and also the enzymatic degradation is one of the major problem, and sensitivity of the drug and first pass metabolism is the major issues. And yes, in the buccal drug delivery system, so the drug will transport by the two types of mechanism, the paracellular mechanism, either one is the transcellular mechanism. So here this is helpful for the small hydrophilic drugs via passive diffusion. Here there is no energy is required. Now here you can see the representation of the paracellular pathway, and also we can see here the transcellular pathway, and here this will transport the lipophilic molecules which are low molecular weight, that will pass through the cells, which is called as intracellular mechanism. So here we can apply buccal patches on the mucosa, which can be encapsulated with the polymeric nanocapsules and solid lipid nanoparticles, NLCs, liposomes and hydrogel nanoparticle. Once you apply, and your formulation will interact with the mucus, and slowly that will release the drug and reach to the capillary. So with that we can improve the bioavailability of the drugs. So these are the two different types of the transport mechanism which involved in the buccal drug delivery. Now here we are going to see the basic components which are used in the development of the buccal drug delivery systems. So here the first is drug substance, and second is the bioadhesive polymers, and the third one is backening membrane, and the fourth one is permeation enhancers. So in our previous lecture we have discussed on the mucosal drug delivery system. There we have discussed what are the properties of the drugs. So that we can also cover here as in a buccal delivery systems, and same information we have discussed in the mucoadhesive polymers. So we have discussed various classifications and their properties, and we have seen various examples of bioadhesive polymers. So today we are going to discuss on the remaining 3 and 4 and how this will help in the development of buccal drug delivery systems. So here you can see the backening membrane. When you prepare any patch of buccal patch, so here it contains the polymer, drug, and the polymer is nothing but mucoadhesive polymer, and also which contains one more material that is called as backening membrane. As similarly it looks like a transdermal patches. So here initially we need to load our drug in the mucoadhesive polymer, and that need to be matrixed or encapsulated into that mucoadhesive polymer, that will help to adhere to the membrane or mucous membrane. So after that we need to provide the impermeable backening membrane, which will help for the formulation, for the attachment with the formulation, and also which will prevent the drug loss from here. It will also protect from the moisture loss, and also it will help from the all type of interaction which comes from the environment, and this should be inert and impermeable to drug and permeation enhancers. And these are the examples of the backening membrane: polyvinyl alcohol, ethyl cellulose and the eudragid. Now, we will see the permeation enhancers. Definitely, even though the mucosa has a high vasculature and even though which help for the permeation, there are the cases we need to provide the permeation enhancers. So, this will help for the permeation of the drugs, because the mucosal membrane and epithelial membrane which have the tight junctions, and such cases we need to improve the permeation by using the permeation enhancers. They will help in the passing through the buccal mucosa. These are the various classes: surfactants, fatty acids, polymers and the others. So, these are the various types of the permeation enhancers which are very important. Try to remember: sodium dodecyl sulfate, polysorbate 80, oleic acid, capric acid, chitosan, trimethyl chitosan, ethanol and the menthol, which will work by the various mechanisms. So, that will help for the permeation enhancers. So, here now we will see the formulation approaches in the buccal drug delivery systems. In buccal drug delivery, we can also use solid type of formulations, semi-solids and the liquids. So, all these are mucoadhesive, bioadhesive tablets which are films and patches which comes as a buccal. We can also use the discs and also we can use wafers and micro and nanoparticulate system also. So, the buccal gels and the buccal ointment which comes into the category of semi-solids, and the gel forming, that is nothing but in situ gel forming sprays which can also use for the formulation approaches in the buccal drug delivery systems. So far we have discussed on the oral mucosal drug delivery. In that we have discussed the importance of oral mucosal drug delivery system, and also we have seen the advantages, limitations and what are the formulation approaches. Then we have discussed on the buccal drug delivery systems. So, with that we are end up with the mucosal delivery systems. In our upcoming class, we are going to discuss on the nasopulmonary and the nose to brain delivery systems. Thank you so much.